Bang. G'day guys and welcome to local band Smokeout Australia. I'm your host CJ the Pineapple Drummer aka Modus from Chaosis. Today I have with me our co-host as well, Luke. How are you doing today? Luke from Void Matter.
How's it going? Living it up on a
On a
Wednesday.
Wednesday. And today we are joined by the lovely one and only Mish from Horizon. How are you today?
I'm good. Midweek streaming. It's fun. I like
Yeah.
it.
It's been a while
I'm
since
awake. That's nice.
Yeah. Well, it's been a while since we had you. I think it's been what over a year since you were last on here and
Yeah.
all of that. So a lot's kind of been happening. The last time we actually got to chat properly in person was Kaiju Fest, and that would have been for all three of us.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that was
what a
really
day.
yeah. What a day. So since then, obviously Christmas is gone. We're back into the new year.
Oh yeah.
What's going on in Misha's camp? What's going on in Horizon's camp? Well, let's start with a very broad question.
All of the above. Also like best hugs ever, CJ and Kaiju. So
uh,
good.
oh, I,
Biggest bear hugs. I love it.
yeah, that's what I'm about. I don't not give people bear hugs, man. It feels weird. When I shake people's
I was like,
hand,
I
I
know
want to grab them.
COVID, but you're fine. I want to hug you. Yay.
Yeah, oh fuck COVID. Bear hugs are forever. COVID comes and goes, man.
I'm vaxxed. I'm like, I'll take this risk. I
Yeah.
ended up getting COVID anyway somewhere else. It doesn't matter. Actually, that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been recovering. I was so sick. I was sick for like nearly 8 weeks. I've sort of semi-injured my diaphragm from coughing so much. But
Ooh.
anyway, we're getting there. We're getting there. So
Yeah.
what have I been up to? I finished recording some new music. It's pretty epic. If I
Mm.
say so myself, I'd probably say the best it's ever been. Yeah, it's heavy, it's raw. You hear like parts of my voice that you haven't heard before. I get to like really pull from my Regina Spektor and my Tori Amos all the way to like Lacuna Coil and Evanescence in the span of one song. Yeah, so that's coming out soon. There should be some new releases dropping later this year, which I'm pretty excited about. And I've been writing a lot. Tons. I've
Nice.
got another EP on top of these singles that's like almost finished. So it's just been
Wow.
about just crazy hustling, writing.
Content, 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 content. That's the way.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
so
yeah.
going into it with your new batch of songs, as we spoke before we started, there's really not much we can talk about too much, but
Yeah.
I always have questions that can veer away from that. Writing this new set of material, so you said you got some singles and then you got a whole bunch of other material ready to go.
Yeah.
What's been different this time round to what it has been previously in the writing process towards the new material?
Oh yeah. I would say like more aligned to the influences that really make the core sound.
Mm,
And like not to say don't experiment, like we experimented a bit and it was cool, but I think this is the most I've personally been able to like it's easy for me to write melodies and stuff when I can really relate to the song immediately. And that's kind of what's been happening. But also like I'm pretty hands-on with writing myself. Like I
mm,
like to make sure things I don't know, not to make sure, but I guess I like to be involved. It just helps me as a vocalist to know what key mode we're in, what is the guitar doing, so I can write my parts around that and all that kind of stuff. But mostly, like we were so productive, I would say, because we were working a lot remotely, and then we'd catch up once a week and like really consolidate all of our thoughts from the week, and then go back and write again. So it's kind of been like weeks and weeks of writing,
mm.
all, like all together, but also remotely. If that makes
Yeah, yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy.
Nice, nice. Are you
Yeah.
exploring with heavier vocals, curiously?
Yeah, I mean, the usual kind of stuff. I used to do screaming, and I'm kind of like, so I'm thinking about getting back into that again. But it's not just in this batch of songs. I would say it's the emotion that you feel. You kind of I deliver that without the need for screaming so far. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
okay so far. But it is something I want to get back into soon.
Mm, mm,
Has the intensity, but without the distortion.
Yeah, very much so. And also it's the arrangement, it's kind of like which note choices and stuff and how every instrument is interacting with the others is kind of what really brings that intensity. And like I'm pretty open in my lyrics. I'm not going to hide like, that I'm vague. I'm pretty open with my lyrics. So a lot of the lyrical content is kind of steered towards that way as well.
yeah, nice, nice. And I did want to touch on a little bit as well, where you were saying that you had to find something to relate to in the song.
Mm.
Is there kind of overall thematic theme or something that's kind of tying all the new material together, or is it kind of like your focuses are individually on making each song the best they can be and have them be kind of standalone?
It's both, because I don't write my lyrics or melodies until the songs are complete. Because I used to do the other way around, but I just find it so hard to like make music fit around a melody. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
right.
I wait till we've written all the songs and we like really, in the nitty gritty, finishing the songs, and then I work on the lyrics. It's honestly, I've just spent the last 2 years just in, I mean, I've been in therapy. I love therapy, but the last 2 years really, really sort of recognizing my own resilience and really getting, right deep in there with schema therapy. So a lot of it is as always, trauma. A lot of it is related to trauma and recovering from that, and pretty much going back to like what music did for me when I was a kid, like when I was 16 and listening to Linkin Park. Like I kind of want to create that for somebody else. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think
I'm
that's
a
a good
fun
approach.
person.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah. No, it's I think on top of what you said with therapy, I think you're also treating it in some way as a form of therapy with the writing too. It's another form of being cathartic with what you're trying to accomplish as well. Like no musician can say that they don't put a piece of them into their writing and what they do. So
Oh yeah, and you finish a song and you go back, you're like, oh damn, I was actually talking about myself there. That's crazy. I do that all the
I
time.
was fucked up.
Pretty much. I'm like,
talking about aliens, but really I'm just dissociated.
exactly. Oh my god, yes. I dissociate every single day. It's hilarious. But also like some ADHD in there too,
Yeah, of course. It's like, yeah, singing, look, a dog!
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Luke, I know you've got a couple of questions for Mish.
Yes, so Mish, for those who don't know, you work in PR. I just wanted to touch on like some of the cool stories you have from that sort of a career that you've chosen.
Oh yes, publicity. It's great. I love working in the music industry. My favorite part is it doesn't matter how big or small the band is. It's really getting their music out there, like helping them take that next step. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of the times, my role doesn't really involve a lot of helping them write or whatever, obviously, but like they've got the music and it's awesome, and here's this band, and like connecting the two to the world. Like, hey, like listen to this. You gotta check this out. That's my kind of favorite part. My last year. Oh, was the last year? Oh my god, my brain is still in like 2019 post-COVID. I'm pretty sure it was last year. Yes, it was. Bellacor's first show in almost 10 years. Sister Alliance. That was freaking awesome. That was with Orpheus Amiga and Andy Gillian. That was amazing. I also worked with a bunch of extreme metal bands. That was really, really awesome. And it's like Virginia being one of those bands. Unfortunately, their tour got cancelled because of logistics, but they're such an extreme metal band, but then you're like talking to them and they're like, I'm like, me too. This is crazy. Within Destruction, Defeated Sanity. Yeah, it was pretty cool working with those guys. Yeah.
Do you find yourself going with different strategies depending on like the genre? Like you were saying that you're working with a lot of extreme artists. Like how does that go to say like a punk band or even a pop sort of an outfit?
That's a good question. I customize everything to each artist. It does there's no one size fits all anyway. I think just being a musician in general, but also because I'm a musician, I sort of see it from another lens of like, how would I feel if somebody proposed that to me? You know what I mean? So the big thing is to obviously only like this music that you send to your media outlets. It really needs to be in their target audience. So that's a big one. The other strategies sometimes depend on genres and like publications and the reactions kind of thing, but I feel like you kind of need to be just creative regardless, because everything churns so quickly. So sometimes you have to find creative ways to like get people in like different kind of genres a platform, if that makes sense. Like different styles of interviews, different style of like content promotion and marketing. So it kind of, I feel like it's an ever evolving thing. So I'm forever like coming up with strategy.
So yeah, there's no real template. Like you always got to try and like bring the best out of whatever is in front of you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can like as a publicist, my job is to like pitch the musicians to the right people. So there's a bit of like a template there, but how to get the most out of it is where the most creativity lies, and it's pretty fun. Kind of my favorite part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can I ask
Nice.
a quick question as a bit of Mish advice?
Oh
Obviously, you would
dear.
have had a lot of bands that would have come to you for PR stuff and all of that.
Yeah.
What is something that you find that band, and this isn't overall, this isn't directed at one particular band or anything, but what is something that bands should keep in mind with PR work, and how can they get the most out of it when they approach someone like yourself?
Absolutely. Being prepared, being open to suggestion and recommendation, and being educated. Like
Mm,
the hardest thing is always when somebody's uneducated on how things are working and they don't want to take the current feedback on based on how things were about 5 years ago. Kind of not the case because we've had like three music industries since the pre-pandemic, the pandemic, and the post-pandemic industry. So like, and it affected so many media outlets or where you do coverage. Like a lot of has changed. So like definitely being prepared, like having your masters ready when you are reaching out to publicity companies and always plan like 3 to 6 months in advance for all releases. Don't book your venues for your tours and shows on the day the song's coming out. Like that sort of isn't the most productive. Like allow people to absorb the music first and then sort of
mm,
have some time scheduled for pushing that show. Yeah, I would say they're probably the most important ones where it's the best song and it's the best artist, the most cooperative people, and it's awesome. But because there wasn't enough time or assets weren't ready, it kind of, you know, I'm pretty hard on myself. So I'm like, oh man, it wasn't the best campaign. So damn.
mm. And you
Yeah.
did say a word prepared, and
Yeah.
I guess in some senses it is as vague as it is not vague. But
Oh, yeah.
when
Sorry.
you no 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 no, and this is why I'm curious because like I understand what you mean, but there might be a lot of people out there that don't understand. So how
Yeah.
can a band be the most prepared when they approach you first?
For sure. Look, any band out there that wants to get the music out, I'm more than happy to have a free consult with you and just walk you through the steps, and then you sort of take that information, go wherever you want. That is totally fine by me. It's something I've always done. So, so hit me up. But also, being prepared is like having all of your assets ready. So have your masters ready by the like, don't book. Start inquiring about publicity or like booking things when your mix isn't even ready yet because a lot can change. Definitely the music videos where a lot of people sort of fall down, I would say. Like the music video isn't either booked or like there's delays. So don't upload songs for distribution unless you definitely have all of your ducks in the row, including like your photography, your logos, your artwork. Are you doing any merch? If so, then like let's have artwork ready for that so you can then release a song but have subsequent plugs to keep plugging the release. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Did
mm.
that help?
Yeah, totally. No, totally,
Like
because
a
that's
variety of assets. Like it's the secret to a successful song. What you're saying is not it's not just the song. You
Oh
need
yeah.
so much more than just that. The music video, the artwork, the photos, the
Yes.
merch, all those things that you just mentioned. Like, yeah,
mm,
it's not just as simple as writing the best song in the world.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Sometimes that works for some people too. That's why you have to be very like I like to customize each campaign.
mm.
But to kind of really set yourself apart, I mean, I always recommend like a bare minimum of like a merch plug, having your artwork, having a fresh shot, like having good quality masters, a good quality video component. That really, really helps.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Nice.
You heard it. You heard it first from Mish Bands. Get your shit together.
Get your
Para-
shit, put it in a
paraphrasing.
backpack.
I don't care what you gotta
Hit
do.
me up for a free
Send it to
consult.
Mish.
I don't mind. It's fine.
Yes, I would highly recommend chatting to Mish about it. I talk to her quite frequently outside of the streams about it, and she's very bloody good at what she does. So, Bands,
Oh.
where can people get in contact with you about being able to approach you for this stuff?
Yeah, sweet. So hit me up on Facebook, which is MISHSHA. That's just my handle. And also on Instagram, I'm That's a Shame. It's a Seinfeld quote. People think that
Nice.
I'm like self-deprecating. I'm like, no. I mean, I can be, but not in
No,
this case.
I just like Seinfeld.
I just love Seinfeld.
Well, look, I just want to wrap it up with one last question, and we're gonna move right on into a stream. But before we do all of that, I did want to quickly ask what is on the cards for Horizon in 2023.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just one of the things I really well, there's let me start again. There's new music. There's definitely new music coming out, and we're just taking a lot of time to write the next batch of releases at the same time. So we're kind of a couple of releases ahead. Prefer that because it just helps with a smooth, kind of like building the hype up, but in a way that doesn't stress me out. So there's that, but also I'm very much into getting into sound engineering as well. I was one of the 10 females that was selected from the country for the Airlock Studio Immersive program, which is amazing, led by Anna Lavity, amazing producer. So that's something I had been thinking about, and now I'm really getting very serious with that.
Nice.
So the focus was that
Yeah.
of that was the audio production side of things, like the recording and mixing and mastering.
Yes, absolutely. We got to record a band on day one and mix them the day two. It was amazing.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Did you find that was it extremely helpful?
Oh my goodness, yes it was. I was like, damn, I've been doing things wrong. What? But also like it was nice to be in a space where just because I'm in my 30s, my life isn't over. You know what I mean? It was nice to find another part of music that makes me just as excited and to be able to future-proof myself for one day when I'm like, I don't do songs anymore. I just, maybe it's in 20 years. I don't know. To be able to still assist bands because my goal at the end of the day is to be able to help like sort of youth that are at risk that show an inclination towards music to like and also young up and coming bands to help get their music to get them to a certain level where they can then start approaching management and booking agents and stuff like that.
Awesome. That's really cool. So I got to say a big thank you for taking the time to have a quick chat with us today. And it sounds like there's some things that are very hush hush. So we'll have to pull you back in a couple of months when we can talk about when things are announced. We had the same thing with Atlas on the weekend actually, which was funny. They're just like, we want to tell you, but we can't.
Yeah.
Like
Not yet.
Not yet. We're like, fuck. Come on.
It's still fun catching up with you all though. Like it's still fun for me.
We still love to talk shit. Don't worry. It's what we're good at. We enjoy talking with you, Mish. So look, guys, thank you so much. Don't hesitate to get in touch with Mish about PR work and any consultations. The first one is free with Mish. And do not hesitate to keep an eye on what is going on in the Horizon camp, as it sounds like there's a lot that's in the workings, and we're very excited to see where that does go this year. So we'll be watching very closely with high anticipation of what it's going to be. And until then, is there anything you want to leave the interview on, Mish, before we let you go?
Be nice to each other, that's all. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good advice. Not a worry. Alrighty, guys, we've been checking local band Smokeout Australia. This interview will be dropping after the stream. So until then, guys, take care and have a great day.